What is going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and I am here today making a video. It's not Dolphins specific related, it's NFL related, but it will have an effect on the Dolphins at some point, I'm guessing, but we'll see. Anyway, the reason why I'm making this video though is because the NFL is now experiencing their first COVID-19 outbreak. I mean, you know, I don't know that it's necessarily even the first, because before training camp started, there were positive tests. In training camp, there were positive tests, blah, 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 blah. But there is a first outbreak, you know, during the season, etc., etc. And so let's get to these details. Multiple sources are reporting it. Bleacher Report, you know, fucking NFL.com, you know, the clubs that are affected, etc. This one's coming from Yahoo Sports, this article. Titans and Vikings suspend in-person activities after Titans 8 positive COVID-19 tests. The Tennessee Titans had 8 positive COVID-19 tests, including 3 players and 5 personnel members. The NFL said in a statement. As a result, the Titans and Minnesota Vikings, whom the Titans played on Sunday, will suspend in-person activities starting Tuesday. Yahoo Sports' Charles Robinson reported that the Titans and Vikings started sending people home from their facilities early Tuesday morning and instructed those not in the building to arrive for drive-up COVID testing and then return home. I mean, fucking disaster, bro. Like, I've been telling y'all, but of course nobody wants to listen. Now, I'm going to mention that a couple times because apparently nobody ever wants to listen, but, you know, and everybody just has to learn everything the fucking hard way. So I'm going to happily say, I told you so. But look, you know, the NFL told you so as well, right? They told you that they expect to have positive tests throughout the year. They also told you that they just don't care. They just don't care. And the only thing that they care about is making sure that things go on as fucking planned and make sure that they have a season because they got money to make. Millions upon millions of dollars are at stake, and that's the only thing that is important. And their response just goes to show that even more, right? So their response is that, I mean, the clubs, you know, are shutting down for the week, but what the fuck is that gonna do? And so now they're like, okay, well, we'll probably reschedule, you know, I think it's what, the Titans, I think it's Titans and Steelers or some shit for a Monday night game. Okay. And that might work, but what happens if this shit spreads? What if it spreads throughout the Vikings? What if it then spreads, you know, what if another outbreak happens on another team? How many games are you going to postpone? You know, not to mention the fucking injuries are insane amount of injuries, right? But that's not even the point of this video. Like, I mean, and then, but the even more concerning aspect about this is if these players and personnel, staff members don't die from having the virus initially, you know, the initial time that they have it, I mean, their lives could be irrevocably fucked up regardless at this point, because this virus has so many different long-term effects that are devastating. I've mentioned in a previous video that there have been people who have had it, gotten rid of it, right? So they don't have it anymore. They no longer test positive, but then still die because they end up having heart problems or brain problems or further lung issues or whatever. So it's ridiculous. So these people, these 8 people, their lives could be over. It could literally be a death sentence for them. And the NFL and the fucking owners of these teams literally just don't care. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. All they care about is the money, Lebowski. It's all about the money. So, as I've said, it's almost inevitable that the season, one way or another, is going to get shut down. And likely, it's going to be because of all of the factors combined. It's not going to be just one, but I told you, it's a matter of time, only a matter of time before the NFL gets affected. And again, to be clear and honest, even before the season, they were being affected by it, right? There were positive tests, and those people's lives could be, over. Anyway, so, I told you it was going to fucking happen. Here we are. This is the start of it in the middle of the season. And now it's not before the season, right? So now there's no more time. We're in the fucking middle of it. So games are going to start getting fucking suspended or postponed, blah, blah, blah. And there's going to be major issues. Eventually this whole thing's going to get shut down. And it's likely going to be because of a combination of COVID, because of the fucking injuries due to the fucked up offseason and the lack of adequate preparation for these guys to get into football shape, because of the fucking massive civil unrest and the fucking... It's likely going to be all of it. The fact that we live in a fascist state and, the fascist, wannabe king is going to remain in office after this November election. It's going to happen. People can fucking try to deny it all they want. They can blah, blah, blah. It's going to fucking happen. And even if, and real quick, even if Biden was to win, it's still the same thing. The Republicans and Democrats are the opposite sides of the same coin. It's fascism all the way. It's fascism through and through. They are no different. The status quo will remain. The working people will get absolutely nothing. There won't be healthcare. There will be a pandemic. And the human race will go extinct because the Democrats will not do a goddamn thing about climate change either. So people can, have this stupid fucking conversation about there being some kind of a difference. There isn't. And neither party is going to do a goddamn thing. So likely, in all likelihood, the NFL will not be able to finish the season. It will be some kind of fucking miracle if they do. But the likelihood is that they won't. Anyway, I know I'm getting a little bit off on a tangent, but it's all obviously super important, super relevant, and tied together. But so let's digress a little bit and come back to the main point, and that is that they are now currently experiencing an outbreak. So both teams became aware of an outbreak late Monday, according to Robinson sources, and began contact tracing. The Titans issued the following statement to Tom Pelissero of NFL Network. And this is their statement. Out of the abundance of caution, the organization has decided to work remotely today as we follow NFL protocols related to the COVID-19 virus. Several tests have come back positive and are working through the process of confirming them. We will have more information tomorrow. Okay. And that's a great immediate step. But again, first and foremost, this should never have even become a thing. These people should never have even gotten it due to football being a thing in the first place. Football should never have started up, but here we are. Here we are. And I'm telling you, man, as soon as somebody fucking dies from it, we're going to have, oh man, as soon as somebody dies from it, I am going to, if you think I'm ranting now, if you think I'm being fucking aggressive or negative, whatever, now, just fucking wait until somebody dies and then you hear the shit that I gotta say then. But we'll hold that off for now. So in the meantime, okay, great. But first and foremost, as far as the virus itself goes, it has a 2-week incubation period just in and of itself. Some of these people were already in the building. Okay, so, and then what? After a week, you're going to just let everybody come back and everything's going to be fine? You're going to start playing games again and no big deal? I mean, like, at a minimum, if they were really doing the things that were necessary, the entire team would be shut down for 2 weeks at a minimum. At a minimum. The entire team, both teams, the Vikings, because that's what contact tracing and isolation is all about. Jesus Christ. I mean, if you don't understand that, then I don't know what the fucking to say to you. But both teams at a minimum would be shut down for the next 2 weeks. The Titans and the Vikings. So what do you do with that? 2 NFL teams. 2 full... I mean, they're not going to do that. But that's what they should do. Okay? They're likely not going to do that. We'll see. I mean, I guess they still could. We'll give them this week to find out. They could, heighten their precautionary measures. I doubt it. My guess is that they're going to postpone whatever games are going to be affected because of this week being shut down because of it. And then they're going to go back to business as usual. That's my guess. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But I mean, it's just a fucking shit show. Like, what the fuck is going on? And again, if they were doing the right thing, literally both teams would be shut down indefinitely for the next 2 weeks at a minimum. At a minimum. They wouldn't do anything. I mean, maybe you could do some Zoom calls. Maybe you can, like, you know, I don't know, study film of the teams that are still playing that you're maybe going to have to play. But how do you prepare for that? Like, how do you, like, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. All right, anyway, let's continue on and finish this. So, the Vikings issued a statement via their own channels. Let's see. Today, the NFL notified us that members of the Tennessee Titans organization have tested positive for COVID-19. As of this morning, we have not received any positive results from Vikings testing following Sunday's game. Per the NFL protocol, we will suspend in-person club activities and close TCO Performance Center immediately. We will work closely with the NFL and NFLPA to monitor the situation, perform additional testing, and determine when the facility can reopen. We will provide further updates regarding this week's football schedule when appropriate. Now, to be clear, with the Vikings, so far they haven't had any positive tests, and if they continue to not have any positive tests, then theoretically they could open and continue on as normal. But that's still not how it works. Like, it's just not how it works. And even if they did, like, the Titans at a minimum should be, etc., blah, blah, blah. But it's like, it's just frustrating. That's really what it is. NFL shuts down in-person activities for Titans and Vikings. The NFL and NFL Players Association released a statement acknowledging the 8 positive tests and announced in-person suspension for activities for both teams. Let's see. That's good. The Titans shut down. I don't care to read their statement, honestly. Let's see. The Titans shutdown activities could continue until Saturday. Titans-Steelers Game 4 still on. The Titans host the Pittsburgh Steelers in Nashville this weekend, while the Vikings are scheduled to visit the Texans. The Steelers released a statement to Mike Garofalo saying that they are proceeding with game preparations as normal until we are informed otherwise. ESPN's Adam Schefter reported the NFL wants to and intends to play the game as scheduled on Sunday. One of its contingency plans reportedly involves moving the game to Monday. So, Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. They have people who have tested positive, and this thing has a 2-week incubation period. So there could be other people on the team that have it, and you won't know. You just won't know. You won't know. Oh my God. And then they could play on Monday, Sunday or Monday, and spread it around to the Steelers, let alone the rest of the fucking team. And, I mean, like, it's insanity. Like, they literally want to continue to play the fucking games. It's absolute insanity. COVID-19 testing in Week 3. Ahead of Sunday's Week 3 slate of games, the league had its first player placed on the reserve COVID-19 list. The Atlanta Falcons' first-round pick, A.J. Terrell, was put on the list Saturday and did not play in the game. Being on the list does not mean the individual tested positive or has the disease. The Houston Texans reportedly had a batch of false positive tests for multiple players before the game with the Steelers. After additional testing, all tests came back negative, and the players were able to take the field. Okay, again, we've also discussed the issues with false positives and how that can be problematic, but also, especially considering the, business as normal mentality that the NFL is taking and how greedy these people are and how, how despicable, the capitalist design is. When you take those things into consideration and then you look at the NFL and their false positives, right? The false positives that they said that they've had. And I'm actually inclined overall to believe them about them. However, there have been a lot of them, and I mean, it's hard to believe that many could be, false positive. But the reason why I'm inclined to believe them is simply because there haven't been, what would confirm that is people getting sick, people, or whatever. The data, right, that's important is whether or not people get sick, have to get hospitalized, get placed on the COVID list, etc., etc. So, you know, it's hard to tell, like, it's hard to tell when they're being honest, I guess is the point of this little segment here. And what I'm trying to say right now is this, like, it's hard to tell when they're being honest, and it's really difficult to trust them. And I wouldn't put it past them to, you know, be like, well, not all of these were false positive. We did retesting, and actually 1 or 2 of them came back positive, but we already told everybody that they're all negative in actuality. We don't want to cause a stir or scare, and these people seem to be fine. Nothing's really wrong with them. Like, right? So, like, I can see them being like, you know, we're gonna take that and we're just gonna fucking roll with it. Anyway, I don't know. Certainly that particular indictment is a very large one to make. I'm not making that. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if they did something like that. And so anyway, look, you know, it's a disaster. It's going to continue to be a disaster. Like I said, especially as the winter months go on and this thing is poised to really fucking just ravage the country. Especially then when you tie in other additional contextual information like, you know, Ron DeSantis of Florida deciding to lift all COVID restrictions. Okay, I mean that's where 3 of the NFL teams play. If you think that there's not going to be an outbreak. And so, you know, I mentioned that this isn't Dolphins specific, but this is how I'll wrap this up. So, you know, if you think that this isn't going to affect the Dolphins at some point, if you think it's not going to eventually get to the Jags and the fucking Bucks, I mean, if you think that there's not going to be an outbreak there, I mean, the only way there won't be is extreme luck, right? Extreme luck. But the dice are heavily stacked against it, and every time they go out there to play a game or practice or blah, 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 every day that goes by that they're taking additional risk and upping their chances. So look, I told you guys what to expect, and it's starting now. I mean, again, it has literally been going on. The NFL has been affected prior to this, but now they have live games with fans, and they're talking about opening up stadiums more. I mean, it's just, it's insane, absolutely insane, but obviously something that we're going to continue to monitor, and the more that they prove me right, the more I'm going to say I told you so. But look, one more quick note about the Dolphins. If and when this gets in there, I mean, just imagine, and I'm going to use this example because it's really one of the most extreme examples. Now, anybody getting this thing and dying from it is an extreme example. So let's be 100% clear. It doesn't matter who it is, but I know how people work, and I know, you know, fucking how the fans are going to be. So imagine Tua Tagovailoa gets this virus. And I've said this before, though. Imagine he gets the virus, and God forbid, knock on wood, I don't believe in God or, superstition. But do whatever you got to do to hope that it doesn't happen. Okay, that's what I hope. I hope it doesn't happen. But imagine Tua Tagovailoa gets it, and imagine worst case scenario. Now, he's a young dude. Likelihood is he won't, at least not immediately. He could die from it later on due to some additional complication that is derivative from COVID-19, right? But he might not die initially from it, whatever. But let's say he does, one way or the other, whether it's now or whether it's in a year or two or a few years from now, because of something that was derived from COVID-19. Just imagine that. I mean, like, but that, and people can call me negative for saying it, I guess, if they want, but it is a fucking real possibility. It is a real possibility. And again, he might not die from the virus in and of itself. So, like, you know, if there's an outbreak on the Dolphins, and if Tua Tagovailoa happens to be one of the players that gets it and tests positive, boy oh boy are Dolphins fans gonna shit their fucking pants in concern. I guarantee it. Okay, but then if he gets healthy, they're all gonna fucking wipe their brow and then fucking move on. but he could still end up dying from it at a later time. And it could still be, you know, super young and super, you know, in his contract. So, you know, let's say best case scenario performance-wise, right? So let's say he gets out there and he starts lighting it up. Maybe it's this season, maybe it's next season. Maybe he takes us to the playoffs. But then what if he dies? Because he has some kind of fucking lingering issue or some sort of, other thing now, because other problem now, myocarditis, whatever. That's one of the big ones that they've talked about, right? The heart problem. But there's brain issues, there's lung issues. It affects almost every organ in the body. So, I mean, it's absurd. Anyway, before I go on any more additional rants, I'm going to end it now with that. And yes, I would say that it's, bleak or negative, but it is a very real, distinct possibility. And I'm just tired. I really am. I am just sick and fucking tired of people shitting on me because I present the fucking reality and try and prevent the negative things from happening, but I'm the one that's called negative simply for saying it. Okay, well, anybody who thinks that really can just fuck right off, because I don't give a fuck. I really don't give a fuck anymore. I'm gonna keep fucking screaming it, and people are gonna keep fucking denying it and shitting on me, but then they are going to experience it and figure it out for themselves the hard way. And you know what? When they do, they can come crying to me, but I'm going to say I fucking told you so. Because I did. Because I tried to and you can be mad at me all you want, but I tried to prevent this from happening. So, okay, cool, whatever, no big deal. People can continue to call me negative all fucking day. I can continue to sit at around 300 subscribers because nobody wants to hear the fucking facts that I have to fucking spit. Okay, no sweat. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. I wish everybody the best of fucking luck. But, live in these false realities and one day you're gonna fucking see. It's just the way it is, man. That's just the fucking way it is. Alright, well, I am gonna get up out of here. For anybody who does appreciate my perspective, and I hope you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Share my channel and videos with your friends and family. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. And of course, as always, follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Phins up.